Welcome to Onivia, League of Legends highlights. These are the best highlights from today's Worlds 2024 matchup.
The strength that they do have with their AD carry and jungle to play for these early objectives. And that's what you love to see. That's what you want to be seeing from this FlyQuest, playing with confidence, playing with the nameplates off, and treating Gen.G like any other team. I've forgotten the words of them now.
Honey fruits.
That's what I'm looking for.
I
Thank
gotcha.
you, Flowers. And here we go.
Okay, FlyQuest are first into the pit, but Gen.G is ready to respond. Keen over the wall, ready to drop the equalizer if need be.
TP mids.
Canyon ready to start taking aggro here a little bit as the equalizer comes down. Inspired, already gonna lose half HP. Chovy jumps in, not gonna find the charm. Immediately engaged, coming up from Lucio. First blood of the FlyQuest, and Chovy is down. Seraphine ulti roars over the top, and Gen.G has lost 2 men. FlyQuest just killed 3 of them, and they're gonna hit 4 grubs too.
FlyQuest wiped it! Every decision that they've made makes sense. They know that Xin Zhao is stronger than that of the Skarner in the early game. They know they win the early skirmishes, and with an Ashe to help support that, they've moved the Ashe around to gain early control over the Grubs and the Dragon. An ulti will come through in the mids.
Quad's in a little bit of trouble here as Lehens jumps in. Canyon over the wall wants to try to join up, but it ain't gonna matter. Lehens is already down, and a beautiful move from Inspired, using the ulti to knock the enemy Skarner back. Now Whipple's ready to make a grand entrance, and he's grabbing a 5th kill of the game for FlyQuest. Gen.G thought they might have had something, and FlyQuest check him at the door.
A haphazard force from Gen.G means that FlyQuest get themselves another 2 kills.
Oh, maybe has the nameplates on, thinks it's going to be an easy game, and he is over-forcing mid lane there. Misses the ulti on Quad as it was sidestep. Still trying to
Flowers.
It's Gen.G.
But
They're 46-3 this year in series, Eddie.
if you turn the nameplates off, they're struggling right now.
Well, Bucio's coming in for the wraparound. They want to go after Chovy. They don't find what they're looking for, and FlyQuest might have got a little over-eager. The tier 1 turret still standing as Keen drops the equalizer. Bucio's got to be careful. Amasu's about to die. He flashes away as Keen wants to chase him down. FlyQuest on the retreat. They nearly toss it away, but Gen.G won't get a kill. Rift Herald still on the map, 17 minutes into the game, and Gen.G is going to head over.
So the priorities there, I think FlyQuest overforced on the mid.
Keen is able to trade his flash for the cleanse and the flash of Masu. So Masu is in so much danger now in this next potential fight. FlyQuest do love to go for Mountain Soul, and FlyQuest are in a great spot right now. But if you show up this next Dragon in 130 with no summoners on Masu, he is so vulnerable, and I think there's a real opportunity that Gen.G just wipe that fight.
So a lot of tools to catch pays out, even with his cleanse. So he can't really afford to step up on the wave without the rest of his team, who are now arriving. Observers showcase the amount of darkness that Gen.G see. Lehen's going to be the one to face check.
Yeah, but Leona walks forward. Bucio jumps over the wall with a combo as FlyQuest look to put some DPS into Leona, but it ain't going to be enough. A lot of damage back into Inspired. Crescent sweep to barely stay alive.
Oh,
and Lehen's is down. Whippo over the wall goes in for a massive multi-taunt, and Keen's thrown up into the air. Inspired escapes the death rocket, but now they're dragging FlyQuest back. Whippo's first to die as Pace continues firing, and Chovy wants another. Canyon steers back away as FlyQuest get a 2-for-1.
That is huge for FlyQuest. They're already under the Dragon. They're going to move to Soul Point here. Inspired barely survived, flashing out of the way of Pei's ulti. That surely would have finished him off. The fact that he doesn't go down, the fact that Whippo gets into the backline puts so much pressure onto Gen.G, and now it's Pei's with no summoners here. It's FlyQuest moving to Soul Point, and it's FlyQuest really showing their class against the world's best.
It's around this series was going to be a quick 3-0, another Sunday for Gen.G, and this is the performance of FlyQuest. They are delivering as they play for the top tower, an uncontested tower.
And we're only 23 and a half minutes into the game. They are getting the Jinx to a strong point. You know, he does have the IE, he has the Kraken, he's trying to get more, and they know they need to be as strong as they possibly can, as you said, before this fight, because if FlyQuest gets Soul, that's very likely the game for Gen.G.
TP coming in here for FlyQuest side. Let's see if they really want to make a move.
Whipple's behind them. Whipple's behind them.
Using the charm, trying to stuff the engage here. Pace wants to get away. Seraphine ulti flying over the top. Whipple's trying his way into Pace, but the Jinx barely gets away. FlyQuest continuing forward, but a nice equalizer from Keen tries to stop him. Canyon shot to pieces, and Whippo wants more. FlyQuest with a 1-for-0, but that one is
And
the
the
enemy.
tools contest, there's no equalizer, they're coming anyway.
The only ulti left on Gen.G is Pace with the Super Mega Death Rocket. There is no Spirit Rush, there is no equalizer. Whippo looking to wrap around Gen.G as they come to try to challenge for the Baron. Keen on the backside of the wall, but immediately Boostio's going in to try to stop him. FlyQuest making their move. Whippo's into the back line. They found Pays, but there's no follow-up. Boostio's already dead, and Whippo goes to rejoin the rest of the team. FlyQuest will claim the Baron, but they have to trade Boostio for it. So Gen.G will now get the tier 1 turret mid and stop the Soul as a response.
Boostio will pay the ultimate price, but it is a price worth paying. The Baron secured. FlyQuest, they will concede the Dragon, but it doesn't matter. That is bounties that Gen.G have to claim against FlyQuest, who are dominating in this first game.
They are, but that's 2 bounties that they're going to be able to actually pick up here. And the question is, how much game? And instead, they go for the Baron. If they don't get a ton with this, that's 3 bounties that were given over off of the lost fight because they had to sacrifice Boostio. They need to push the pace. They need to get so much with this Baron, or it really wasn't worthwhile.
All right, FlyQuest forces down the tier 2 turret here in the bottom lane to maintain control over this bot side river as Gen.G are grouping up in mid, trying to get the wave shoved out. And then they'll have to approach, as now over the wall, Chovy gonna get grabbed. The Seraphine ulti flies out, but Chovy's able to dodge away. Now Boostio continuing to move forward as Canyon survives. No real sincere pressure on Gen.G. It's the Seraphine ulti of Quad. It's that arrow from Masu, but Chovy's ult is the price Gen.G has to pay for it.
He has to spend his flash as well, so now Chovy, no flash, no ulti. You know, it could be worth it for this next fight, though.
Whippo going in, looking for a taunt, but he's not going to find it. Would have only been Canyon and Lehens anyway, the tanky members of the Gen.G squad. FlyQuest and Gen.G still staring each other down. Keep your eyes on Lehens. The Leona is the engage here for Gen.G as FlyQuest make their way into the bot side river. They're going to go ahead and start that Drake up. It's already down to half HP. Canyon's getting zoned out. Equalizer into the back line as Quad sidesteps away from the solar flare. Dragon's still the focus coming out from FlyQuest. The troll is secured. And now they're turning it right back on the Lehens and Canyon. The Leona tries to flash away, but it ain't going to work. Masu chases him down. Boostio trying to keep going forward with Whippo as they lock up the carries. They beat down Pays. And Gen.G falls. Chovy trying to hold the line, trying to buy time, but it costs a hell of a lot. And FlyQuest are barreling towards the base. A beautiful stop on the recall from Masu.
What a fight from FlyQuest. Heavy is the MSI crown, and Gen.G are crumbling under its weight.
Solo laners versus FlyQuest. Keen and Chovy trying to hold on, but another Seraphine ulti flies out, and Chovy drops dead. Keen pushes forward and finally claims Boostio, but it's only a 1-for-1. Game number 1 is about to end as FlyQuest lead.
The Kassadin to the late game, but you can expect the Kassadin to be getting shoved in non-stop by the Orianna. This is going to make Canyon's job harder because you have to be non-stop, getting every single auto attack in that you can, harassing this guy constantly as Canyon is going to make this so difficult. They're going to go for the dive.
3v2 dive from Gen.G. Lehen's going to lead the way. Whippo trying to stay alive. He's barely hanging on as he flashes out. Pays trying to chase him down. It's first blood back over to the Ash. Boostio still wants to get one back, but he doesn't have the damage. The Riptide slows him down, and Gen.G get the first blood.
Nicely executed dive, and it's ultimately a misplay from Whippo. Chovy getting very low, forced a flash in the 1v1.
Remember, he continues to stay. Boostio's wrapping around behind him. Remember, there's no flash. He could look for this.
They're letting that recall run down.
Here we go.
Boostio wants to go for the dive. This will be pretty important here for FlyQuest. Knock up onto Chovy. Not enough damage to take him down, and now Boostio's cougar food. Canyon shows up for a punish, and Gen.G are looking scary in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, Canyon, right place.
Just ticked over to level 5. Keen is halfway to level 7. And we're talking about a Jax that you already mentioned about getting grabbed by the dredge line, but nicely used there with the arcane shift to buffer through the grab. As Chovy here in mid lane might just find himself on the receiving end of a snowball, but considering he's level 7, he can still buffer through that knockoff. But nice shockwave coming out from Quad. Surely they get this kill. No way! Chovy just made him look foolish.
The magic shield on the Kassadin meant that he was able to tank
Going beautifully for Gen.G, not just with the plays that they are making, but the way that they're responding to the attempts FlyQuest is bringing as Whippo going in against Keen, needs to try to lock him down here for Inspired to show up in time. That snowball needs to make its way into the Jax, but it ain't gonna collide.
Making it a nightmare for Quad.
Yeah, I mean, the problem for FlyQuest is going to be who actually deals with the Kassadin. They really don't have the lockdown required as Keen
Yeah, I don't think they have anything for the Jacks here either, as Keen is about to win a 1 versus 2. Inspired again showing up just a little bit too late to really make a lot happen. Keen thinking about turning around, maybe trying to finish off Whippo there, as Inspired on the Nunu. Oh, they found an effect all right. Chovy got a kill on Cassidy at level 7. That's exactly what Gen.G wanted to see, as Canyon is now looking to repeat his success here on these Nidalee ganks. Keen flashing forward for the stun with a counter-strike, needs a little bit more damage to kill off Whippo. But the Croc survives. Canyon will not be able to complete the job. Whippo surviving on a knife's edge to get the first kill.
Yeah, I will say, I do think, as much as people talk about Cassidy as late game beast, we'll see if Whippo can get out of this.
Lehens with the dredge line. Whippo in trouble. Arrow from downtown. The Renekton still in danger, trying to slice and dice his way out of trouble. But Canyon's got the kill secured. Gen.G claim 1, but a teleport's ready to try to get something in response. Quad shows up, trying to put the damage into Pays, but he flashes back over the wall to get away. And the shockwave is an airball. Nothing else for FlyQuest yet, as Lehens is now the target, and Inspired cuts off his escape. FlyQuest making an even trade 1 for 1, and Inspired wants to grab the Drake after.
You're right, Flowers, it's a 1 for 1, but look at the mini-map. Mid is being pushed in, top is being pushed in, the Dragon will be conceded as Canyon. The overstaying is welcome.
Yeah, Quad's still chasing after him here, but there is Pays to provide a little bit of extra peel. FlyQuest don't have the lockdown or the damage to complete the kill on the enemy jungler, so it will be Drake secured here for Inspired.
Drake is nice, but they're going to be way happier about the gold they get onto the Cassidy here on the top side. He's going to get solo gold on that tower, and it's a first tower going over to this Cassidy that's already ahead of the pace. Now he's up 1.3k gold.
He's just in such a good spot. Only 15.5 minutes into the game, and Gen.G has now gotten all 3 of the Baron Pit objectives in the early game uncontested.
I mean, the reality is the only person who's going to have a shot at doing it,
that was so close. If that hits Quad, he is in some serious trouble, and he might still be. Chovy chasing after him there, but will not find enough damage for a kill.
Yeah, critically the arrow misses. He is going to be able to survive as a result, if we're going to see Inspired looking mid.
Finds a knock-up onto Pays, but Canyon's here to peel for his AD carry. Redemption summoned up, Inspired, just shot to pieces. Gen.G grabbing 1 kill already, and Canyon ain't gonna drop. Pays finding the DPS in this one, as Keen's ready to jump in to make it 3. A triple kill for the Gen.G marksman. Those arrows fly straight.
Pays with phenomenal footwork, dancing his way around the fight, dodging the knock-up from Busio, and then re-engaging off the back of the damage from the tower and Canyon. Gen.G putting their foot down and looking to crush the hopes of FlyQuest here in game 2.
Yeah, they're running away with this second game. It's looking like it's going to be a tied-up series. And let's not kid ourselves, there was no way Gen.G would ever go down without a fight, and we might see Whippo going down too.
I think it's more than a maybe, Mr. Azael. I think Whippo is out of there. They'll give the kill over to Chovy on the Cassidy, and 2-0.
Hit the knock-up on either the Ashe or the Canyon Nidalee. Wasn't able to even get the 1 kill.
The locket from Lehens doing so much work as well, as we turn our attention to live.
Chovy in a 1v2, and he doesn't seem pressured at all. Busio and Quad without the damage to really threaten this guy. The arrow flies in from all the way up in the river, and now it's Busio under pressure. Shockwave hits both Gen.G players, but what's it gonna matter? They get the kill on the support, and they force the flash at a Quad as well. Gen.G, they made some over-eager plays in game 1, but here in game 2, they are playing to their limits, and they are crushing FlyQuest.
I mean, they just have so much gold at this point, and the problem with the composition of Fly is it's not matching up well to what Gen.G have. They're losing in the isolated 1v1s. They don't have the damage to really get the hook. Connects.
Lehens connects onto the turret, and it sets up Pays to just keep firing. Unstoppable. 5-0-2 here for the Ashe as Canyon throws the spear back over the wall. Whippo's coming in on the flank, looking to lock up Pays, who pops the cleanse, getting away from the Croc, trying to kite it out, but Whippo takes him down. 1 for 1 though, as Inspired is also going to drop with Lehens falling. You can see an ultimate 2 for 1 trade for FlyQuest side as they still continue going forward, looking maybe for Canyon, but it ain't gonna happen.
I mean, FlyQuest, they're going down, but they're going down swinging. Masu, no way out.
No, not from that Cassidy, and Chovy is on a rampage. 2 items fully completed, Seraph's fully stacked, farm at Chovy levels. It's feeling good.
The terrifying thing is Chovy doesn't even have the Malignance yet, and that's only going to make things even worse for FlyQuest. because they have to keep the Orianna together. So you're always going to get split up on the sides. Gen.G can always force a skirmish, and in every skirmish scenario, FlyQuest always lose.
Exactly. I mean, it's so tough. If you can't win 5v5 and you can't win sides, you can't win League of Legends.
Well, they're going for the 3v1 play against Keen, but he's buying enough time. Pei's arrow isn't going to hit the target. Keen is down. FlyQuest commit enough players to get the kill on the Jax.
I mean, Gen.G are making a statement after game one. They are absolutely dominating. Masu slightly oversteps, and Chovy sees an angle.
Chovy not afraid to continue going forward. Inspired the target down to about 1/4 HP. Heals up a little bit with the chomp. Redemption keeping him alive. Boostio fires back going in with the quickness, but Chovy's so tanky. Gen.G's so far ahead. Bwipo's going to be your target here next as the shockwave doesn't do much. Pei's getting the kill on Bwipo. Gen.G just cutting them down like flies. Another triple for Pei's as Quad is the only one left standing. Gen.G 4-0. Baron's coming up next.
And Gen.G smothered the last flames of hope here for FlyQuest. Quad's gonna go down as well, you have to think. No.
Keen ultimately dies to the turret. He nearly killed the turret to stay alive there, but just barely drops at the end. Pei's arrow ends up baiting Keen to his death. But the remaining 4 players of Gen.G will enjoy a nice new purple coat as Baron drops 23 minutes into the game and the gold lead.
A game where they were on the Ashe, they were in the driver's seat, and they were determining how this game would be played, while the other guy was sitting back saying, all right, boys.
Prefers red side. You know, they're one of the only teams that will lose a game and actually pick red side over blue side, which is kind of almost blasphemy. But, you know, will that change going into game 2?
Pei's putting some damage into Inspired here as Chovy is ready to approach from the flank. Level 17 Kassadin, fully ready, fully locked and loaded. Those 3 items fully complete alongside an unbroken armband. He is fearless in this game state.
I mean, he has nothing to be afraid of. FlyQuest, they just don't have the money to really support any play they want to make. It's simply a matter of time for Gen.G as the base continues to experience the siege. Level 14 now for Pei's, pushing bot, pushing mid. The Baron power play nearing 3,000. As FlyQuest are very quickly running out of options.
Yes, the tier 3 turret in mid lane, now about to fall. Gen.G forcing the issue. Lehens with a flash over the wall, going into the dredge line, ain't gonna find it. Inspired, having to pop the ult for the shield to stay alive. Redemption here too. Mid lane inhibitor already down. Bottom lane, the next target. Keen just set it up perfectly with the timing on the wave, and now Bwipo will get locked up and shot down. Sterix will not keep him alive long enough, and Gen.G will not be stopped. Boostio drops next, and the remaining 3 FlyQuest players fall back to the last bastion of the Nexus turrets, but Pei's will not stop. He continues leading the charge, and Chovy's dominating. Another dredge line misses, but it won't matter. Quad and Masu trying to stay alive, but a step outside of the fountain steps is certain death. Gen.G clear the Nexus turrets. FlyQuest head back into their base.
Actually, Skarner, you know, maybe situationally the Urgot, but I think FlyQuest have a really strong draft. I think they are very powerful in the 5v5. Pushing in, you can see they're stacking up this huge wave, and they're going to look for a dive here. This would be devastating if FlyQuest died.
Masu and Boostio, they got to play this one right. Canyon going in. They already popped the heal at the very start from Gen.G. Boostio taking a ton of damage here. Canyon's getting locked up. Lehens eats another turret shot as Bwipo goes forward. Canyon's still trying to get away. The Urgot not going to get a kill on anybody as now Bwipo's in danger. Pei shifts forward. Boostio and Masu still fighting, still firing. Double knockup. First blood over to Masu. Double kill over to Masu. FlyQuest, play it.
Doesn't have the TP available. Lehens is already here to the play. Chovy has the power, but they dive bot.
Bottom lane, Pei's at 200 HP. Masu has to get rid of the turret aggro now as Pei's is still fighting, but it ain't gonna matter. Encathian Rain buries Pei's underneath the tier 1 turret, and FlyQuest claim a 3rd kill for their marksman.
A crucial set of sequences happened on the map. While Gen.G gained the advantage on the Grub, they did so by bringing Lehens up. FlyQuest needed to make a cross map happen, and they rightly do it. We talked in game 1 about playing with the nameplates off. They didn't look at Pei's names, they just saw an Ezreal that should have died.
Bwipo in trouble as Canyon trying to make his presence known up here on the top side. Bwipo's locked up, beat down. Canyon
gets Gen.G on the board.
And they get that huge punish now on Bwipo with no time. It's going to be about the grubs here. They rise in importance as we are going to see Gen.G claiming the first dragon, claiming the first 3 grubs. It really is, right? And if they get access to those towers, they are going to punish you. Chovy's going to be playing heavily through sides on the Silas, so that is a concern, as Bwipo will get jumped on, but should be able to walk it out. And I think the thing is for FlyQuest, their read is we outscale.
Bwipo gets tagged by the stolen ulti. Chovy going in, trying to get the execute threshold. Remember, it's 25%, but they don't do the
they're going to win because they're going to say, you know what? Sure, we might win this one. Maybe it's 55-45. But guess what? In 10 minutes, it's going to be 70-30, and we'll fight you then.
FlyQuest working towards that. On the other side, though, Gen.G, it's also an amazing poke tool. Well, Gen.G is going to get their first turret of the game here in the bottom lane. Canyon came down to apply enough pressure to force Bwipo to step back so that Keen is able to secure the turret. But now it's Keen under pressure. FlyQuest going in for the fight. Bwipo will lead the charge as Inspired on the approach right next to Busio. Keen doing a good job kiting these guys out for now, but his goal is only to buy time. There is no escape here for the Crocodile, and Quad gets the 4th kill for FlyQuest, but the trade in mid lane is there. It's the Rift Herald summoned up by Gen.G. They use it to force the tier 1 turret down, and Lehens drives it back into the tier 2. Now Inspired and Busio show up to force Lehens back, so ultimately Gen.G do close the gold gap despite FlyQuest getting the pick down in the bottom lane.
Flank.
But a TP up in the top side now as Chovy could be in trouble. Bwipo moving in, still moving towards this guy, slows him down with a grenade, and now trying to get that extra little bit of space. Disdain with the flash! Bwipo finds Chovy, but where's the rest of the damage? Busio wants to go in, but he will not get his man. Inspired still hanging around here. Farsight trinket from Gen.G to stop the FlyQuest jungler. Canyon showing up, and another TP is coming in from Gen.G. Inspired is way too far forward, and surely he dies. Gen.G with a beautiful punch back.
An overstep from FlyQuest as Bwipo finds a great trade onto Chovy, but ultimately it's a net gain for Gen.G. They might even be looking for more as FlyQuest is forced. Maybe FlyQuest just say, we'll concede it, maybe look to cross-map that tier 1 tower in the top lane.
Yeah, FlyQuest also, you got to look at the item power spikes. Not fully completed 2nd item for Quad yet compared to Chovy, who is at the mark. Down to the bottom lane, Chovy going in with the stolen lightning crash. Quad with a sidestep away from multiple ultis as Busio counterattacks with the quickness, but Gen.G still got more men. Inspired wants to go in and find some sort of an angle here for the ulti. He only gets Canyon, another knockup, but the Gen.G jungler's way too tanky. Inspired's gonna die again if he's not careful as Keen kills Bwipo down in the corner. Lehens still retreating. He's got the unbreakable, but how breakable is he? Matsu goes on a rampage, and Chovy keeps running. Canyon regenerating with the Warmogs now, and that could be the difference. FlyQuest now feels the pressure. They've got to continue backing away. Keen can't join because he doesn't have a teleport, but Gen.G's feeling confident.
It's good kiting there from Gen.G. Canyon has regen, and they couldn't get in on pace. I think come out ahead.
There's not a lot of lockdown on the side of FlyQuest. Their overall crowd control is surprisingly limited, which means that in these extended fights where FlyQuest can keep hitting, there's worlds where they can win out on the fight, but trying to burst down that single target, they couldn't actually keep Canyon still enough.
To poke and prod and harass back here, as we'll watch this fight one more time.
So we look back at the 1v1. Bwipo ended up getting outplayed, able to get the knock back, but it's kind of just 2 beefcakes slapping up against each other. And
exactly. I mean, when these Ezreals are positioning really well, using the shift perfectly, getting that bonus damage in, as they're going to look for a pick on Bwipo. If he goes forward, he's probably dead.
Yeah, Bwipo's in some danger here, flashing out, but Keen's ready to flash follow. Bwipo getting stunned up, chain CC'd by Canyon there with a Glacial Prison. Bwipo's buying a lot of time, but it ain't enough. Sterix Gauge won't keep him alive in that one. And Quad's here, but now he's got to be a little bit careful himself. Tries to throw the zap over to continue getting a little bit more slows. Masu just barely not going to land the Void Seeker.
Mid and top tower, and FlyQuest, it feels like the pressure is continuing to mount.
Back to what we were talking about at the very beginning of the game when FlyQuest got that double kill in the bot lane.
Canyon's behind him.
Canyon coming in. Gen.G making their move. Inspired's going to be the target here, but he tries to force the enemy front line back. The Skarner's locked up in the front. He's going to get beat down. The Sterix ain't going to matter yet again. He drags 2 back. Into the back line goes Chovy. Inspired flashing away to barely stay alive, but now Bwipo's going to be in danger as well. The first kill is going over to the stolen ulti, and Chovy puts Bwipo in the grinder. Now Pay's got to be careful. There goes your Void Seeker.
Pace still getting away for now. Masu trying to fire a few more of these off. Quad and the rest of FlyQuest trying to get at least a little bit of mid lane pressure here. They're down a man. They got to be careful as they continue retreating. Inspired went back to the base to heal, but now Masu's got to be careful. There's your use of that cleanse from the McHales. As again, Gen.G continue the chase, but Masu's unstoppable. Lehens went in too far. Zap shoots out of the wall, and Key's got to be careful. So much pressure, but it's not enough. Masu cuts them down. Oh, ye of little faith. Believe in Masu and the AD carry. Chovy still trying to escape. He dashes back over the wall, and FlyQuest take a huge fight.
And they're going to go to the Baron Flowers. They're going to go straight for it here. Bwipo is chasing for the kill. He has his ulti up in a second. He'll see if he can find Chovy, but it's Masu, the Canadian sniper, stepping up and getting the triple.
And Bwipo even finds Chovy. He damages him with the grenade over the wall. Chovy's death is going to be certain. It is going to be delayed. And FlyQuest just found their moment.
Targets, gets into the back line, playing with the confidence. It's Masu taking over the fight against Gen.G.
Bwipo just loving it. You can even see some surprise there on his face, not even believing what's going on for this team now. As the Drake is alive, FlyQuest is going to take this one without a contest to tie these up at 2-2, and they've got the Baron for another 2 minutes.
I mean, you see now why they have so much faith in Masu, why they put the resources into him, why Bwipo is willing to give...
Dragon, during that fight, was about 30 seconds off, and they chased with nothing left. No ultis, all the engaged tools were gone. They invested everything to get that kill onto Inspired, and they paid the price. Now Inspired looking once again.
Inspired's got to be careful here. Remember, this is the same spot of the map that he overextended previously, and it cost FlyQuest. But now, the state of the game, his play to the Ruin King completed on the Zeri. FlyQuest push continues as Canyon, Pays, and Lehens will back away from the tier 2, while Chovy takes a tier 2 over in the mid lane. Be able to knock this one down. You're already seeing the early recall coming out from Bwipo, and now a TP onto the last remaining cannon minion as FlyQuest is sending more men to approach from the side. Inspired should be the first one there, as Bwipo should make it so that Keen cannot find an escape. He tries to run into the alcove, but a nice use of the Scryer's trinket to make it so Keen doesn't have a chance to teleport away in time. Masu waiting on the tanks to lead the way first, and immediately Inspired just slams Keen right back into the wall. They put the money where the money belongs, and Masu gets kill number 8.
Masu
in the bottom lane. Tier 2 turret in their sights, and Gen.G nowhere to be found. Fly, knock it down.
We'll give Flowers that opportunity to get his breath ready as we build closer to that ever-important fight. They both take placement in the mid-wave. They contest, and here we go.
With the flash disdain, Canyon's gonna be your target here with the front, but a nice counter-attack coming out from Chovy. Beautiful stolen Skarner ulti. Isn't enough? Masu's low. Killer Instinct to give him the shield to try to stay alive as Keen dives into the back line, and Bwipo's already gonna be killed. Top for top, 1 for 1. Masu, legendary, but FlyQuest bleeding.
Yeah, and Masu has no resources here. Are they even going to try to stay around? He's got no summoners. They got to go back to base. Gen.G win the fight off the back of that Chovy ultimate. Inspired tried to get one of his own, but it was only on Lehens. It's Chovy who makes the difference.
Chovy stepping up when Gen.G need him. To win a fight down 7,000 gold is absolutely insane. Gen.G secure soul point.
Quad pushing out mid here is going to be able to get this tier 2, so the gold lead does extend, but soul point for Gen.G with the most powerful soul.
FlyQuest will, if nothing else, have control over the topside river to secure vision for the Baron.
Masu now on true 6 items here. FlyQuest starting up the Baron.
TP coming in from Gen.G. True Shot Barrage flies out from Pays, only hits Inspired. Baron down to 60%. Keen is on the flank, and FlyQuest do not know. They've got to be careful about this one as they continue DPS here with the Baron. Canyon and Keen gonna step up. Masu's already under pressure, and immediately Boostio is about to die. Keen's gonna get bursted into the front line on the other side, and Masu stays alive. He's still firing, still fighting. Quad pushes forward, goes to the killing spree. 4 versus 3, but Pays fights back. A beautiful shutdown over the Ezreal as Bwipo jumps into the disdain. Pays goes into the stratosphere, and Masu goes legendary. FlyQuest just killed everybody but Canyon. They're back on the Baron.
FlyQuest has knocked Gen.G to their knees. David is beating Goliath.
To send him back to base.
And you can see the look on Busio's face. That has to be the stress of that play where he was exploded at the very beginning. Whippo, pure joy, the love of League of Legends, the love of competition as FlyQuest with a 5-man push. Now in the bottom lane, trying to crack the base of Gen.G. Keen and Chovy on the side. Chovy with the stolen Rakan ulti, look for the quickness as Busio jumps in. Turret's already down. FlyQuest forcing the issue, but a true shot barrage over the top of 4 is going to try to hold the line for Gen.G. They continue backing away. FlyQuest took a couple of hits, but they claim the inhibitor. Now, at a 10,000 gold deficit, they're going to need something even greater. True shot barrage with no results this time. Chovy eating a little bit of damage as Inspired moves forward, and the second inhibitor will fall.
They're going to have to give up this dragon here, give up their shot at the soul for now, and hope that they can hold the line in their base. But FlyQuest
spawns in 5 seconds.
Exactly, and they're just going to go right in onto the Baron. Their supers still moving up mid lane here. It's going to get very difficult. FlyQuest can just 2-man this while the rest of them look to block out Gen.G from responding.
Masu does a ton of damage to this objective all by his lonesome. Canyon would lead the charge for Gen.G. Chovy has lost a good chunk of HP here in the approach. The FlyQuest squad just trying to buy a little bit of time to secure the Baron, but Whippo might die. Quad going in for the lightning crash. Gen.G are dying. FlyQuest have already killed everybody. FlyQuest will push Gen.G to the absolute limit. They will take a 2-1 lead.
It's Quad with the Quadra. FlyQuest march on the Nexus.
The first Nexus turret, the second Nexus turret, the Nexus itself will...
And now, you have to see how the early game is going to go for FlyQuest, because when you look towards the picks here for Gen.G, really the Inspired and people are all playing to a level where you're like, you know what, if the game is even, maybe we just win. And I think that is a feeling that I haven't really had before.
Chovy immediately jumping in on Quad, seeing Busio show up to apply some pressure.
The Nidalee for Canyon in that game to facilitate dives, to get early leads, and snowball that game. Now, immediately, Busio again going to claim another flash from a Gen.G carry.
And I mean, how about this play? And now Lehens, he's going to have to flash or he's in trouble.
Yeah, Lehens, victim of the Arctic Assault, as Inspired, just trying to make sure that...
No troubles at all, securing the first set of grubs. Gen.G going to get 2 of those immediately for themselves. As you can see, Whippo coming down to try to take a look at what's going on. Masu will force Keen all the way back from the wave down here in the bottom lane. Still got to pay enough respect to Cassante when he's close to the turret, but it's not nearly as big of a deal when he's not level 6. And Inspired and FlyQuest, they're just going to trade these early neutral objectives, go after the dragon. Inspired, you guys already mentioned, he's a level and a half behind Canyon's Nidalee. He does not want any combat.
It's a really good trade from Inspired. Right place, right time. He's matching into this Renekton. He's having a bit of a rough time, but ultimately he's still in a fine position, has the level advantage, hasn't died early.
Oh, Keen, nice use there of the knockback. Masu going to be forced to use that first summoner spell to try to get away. Keen's coming in for the 1v2. He knocks him back. He knocks him down. The Cassante of Keen.
Gold, and Keen has a really good buy after that 1v2 kill.
Yeah, Keen's feeling great about his current place in the game as Inspired showing up here after Chovy. Arctic Assault flash to lock up the Gen.G mid. And Chovy with a late flash wastes a summoner spell.
They aspired to. They've gotten to the second highest step, but never that final step. Never the world finals, never the world title.
And now being this close, we'll see if they can bring it to a game 5 against FlyQuest as Whippo tries to flash away going into Dominus here in a 1v4. But surely Gen.G just get it done. Whippo can't stay alive. Lehens dancing with death there, but does stay alive. Now Gen.G
on this top side, giving the local gold here all towards Masu, farming up some of these plates. But it is going to be first tower here, down on that bottom side for Gen.G. The game, play towards their win conditions, look towards some of the really powerful scaling that they do have. You have these really difficult to kill carries in the late game. You've got great engage, you've got good frontline. I think they can feel comfortable to slow it down, to play it a little bit more reserved, and try to avoid some of this early game power that Keen and Canyon are going to have.
Pays flashing away there. Quad with the threat with the shockwave, but now Gen.G coming right back in. Quad's gonna get locked up, has to flash away to try to survive. Canyon on the chase. Quad's about to die. 50 HP remaining, but an ice shield keeps him alive. Keen coming in with the all-out. Busio flashes back over the wall. FlyQuest somehow live, but Gen.G easily win the fight. They're gonna use that tempo to put more damage into the tier 1 turret over here in mid. Keen overstepping his bounds a little bit here, has to try to step back away. Busio still hanging around too with about 300 HP. TP coming in from FlyQuest to reinforce the turret.
And this should be another objective secured for Gen.G.
Herald should just knock it over by itself. Kaboom. All right, needs one more auto attack to do it. Oh, wow.
Oh.
Okay. Masu saves the day. The turret has literally 20 HP out of 5,000.
Calculated.
It's a shockwave top lane.
Quad in trouble though. Inspired shows up to try to block it for him. Chovy flashing over, making the outplay to guarantee they get their man. But now Inspired and Busio are still looking to lock up the Gen.G mid. Masu's there for a little bit of extra damage. Chovy doing everything he can to kite it out, but it ain't gonna matter. Inspired secures the kill. Canyon with a flash away from the grand entrance from Busio. FlyQuest make it an even trade mid for mid.
And at the end of the day, they got more. And Chovy, at the very least, does deny the kill from the Ezreal, but Inspired getting a little bit of gold back, which is important for him to stay relevant in this game. You know, Canyon obviously maintains a very large farm advantage.
Let's see here if Lehens can get away from this. Inspired and Quad chasing after the Maokai, who used the flash to buy a little bit of extra time, but now it means there should be no way for him to get away from this. Quad will keep on chasing. Ball delivery complete as the enemy support is down. And again, we talked about it back in draft, boys. That's the main engage for Gen.G. Without that setup, there's not really a way for them to safely approach for something like this dragon. Meanwhile, an arrow flies out. Keen going all out underneath the turret, but Whippo's looking to outplay here with the Dominus. It's a 3v1, but Whippo gets away for now. Canyon, the backup, the spear connects. Whippo with a flash away, and the TP is going to be way too late. Quad goes in to find the shockwave, but a beautiful use of the stasis from Canyon. He stays alive. Gen.G maintain a 1-kill advantage as Quad and Busio have to retreat. The tier 1 turret is down, and Gen.G are holding the wrecking ball.
That was such a critical spear there from Canyon. If he doesn't land that on Whippo, I don't think they can actually go for the dive, but of course he does because he is Canyon.
We're not done yet. Inspired having to get away now. Dashing out of the river, throwing back the Glacial Prison. Looking to lock up Pays, who uses the cleanse to try to escape. Masu still firing back. FlyQuest is down 3.
They're literally playing through every single part of the map right now, which usually shouldn't be possible, but they know how strong they are.
Yeah, you're talking about a full level lead in top. It's a 2-level lead in the jungle. Whippo's Dominus ain't gonna matter. An arrow through the heart, and Canyon's taking the payday.
It's Pays from downtown, back to back.
Beautifully done from Gen.G. FlyQuest, let's see if they can find anything here. Inspired's gonna wrap around a little bit. Interrupts Keen, but he can go all out, just immediately using that as the escape lever. Inspired, continuing to try to lock up the Gen.G top laner. Masu behind him here for the chase. Glacial Prison finds the mark, but it finds the mark in the middle of the minion.
Their carries are pretty close to where the Gen.G carries are, and we'll see if they can find Keen now.
They're committing a lot for a Cassante here. Whippo and Inspired chasing after him. Keen still trying to get away. Gen.G bringing in a TP. Cassante still not even taking any meaningful damage at all. Continuing to push forward. Arrow doesn't hit the target, and Chovy's gonna flash back away. All out from Keen. Quad's under pressure, and Whippo's about to die. FlyQuest chased too far. Gen.G are ready to punish, and they want even more. Beautiful engage from Kanan to keep on following it up. Quad barely trying to get away. He's got 200 HP remaining, and the Nidalee says no. It's nothing but a black and white screen for the FlyQuest solo laners, and Gen.G want to take us to a game point.
FlyQuest kept fishing, but they did not like what took the bait. The rest of Gen.G were quick to collapse as Chovy TPs in and buys time for the arrival of Canyon. FlyQuest fall, another dragon to Gen.G. And gentlemen, I feel like we're going to Silver Scrapes.
I think so too. Gen.G are just playing this game out so incredibly well. FlyQuest are going to keep looking for opportunities, but the opportunities are going to get fewer and further between.
It feels like Gen.G are doing just a perfect job of not allowing FlyQuest any meaningful way to fire back. Anytime
in their avenue to victory, and Gen.G have denied them any sort of option to get those in this game. It's not been about the 5v5, it's the skirmishes, the 3v3s, the 2v2s, the fights that happen before the objectives even spawn. perhaps a Baron could be FlyQuest's way back in.
Whippo looking for the flank on Pays. Dominus pop with the arrow to immediately try to stop the FlyQuest top laner. Sterix Gage to keep him alive. Keen's ready to keep on pushing forward here with the Pathmaker going in, looking for a little bit more damage onto Quad. Whippo's going to be dropped first. Quad's going to go right with them. Whippo and Quad, the solo laners down. A double kill for Chovy as Gen.G do not stop here. They keep chasing the remaining FlyQuest players with Keen leading the charge. FlyQuest disengaged successfully, but Gen.G run this rift.
FlyQuest look for an avenue of attack, but at this point the wallet difference is just too big. The idea from Whippo there, providing a gate for Busio to get onto the backline. The Shockwave combo connects, but it just doesn't do enough damage, and now the Baron begun by Gen.G.
FlyQuest knows they can't afford to give this one away, but what else is even gonna happen? Chovy and Gen.G chasing after FlyQuest, killing Masu, burying Busio, and just making Inspired head home alone.
And Gen.G just landed the knockout.
FlyQuest still trying to stop it, but a TP behind him coming in from Keen. The Cassante that has run the whole game start to finish seals their fate. Canyon's unstoppable, and Quad is dead. Whippo and Inspired can't get anywhere close. Keen is a brick wall, and FlyQuest don't have any siege equipment. Inspired's trying to escape as Chovy jumps over the wall, but now FlyQuest is in an even rougher spot. Busio wants to make space for his team, but a third and Topo strike knocks back two. FlyQuest still trying to run, but Gen.G's stronger, Gen.G's faster, Gen.G's better.
To look like, because FlyQuest likely will be going back to the blue side here, which we have seen so much success on in Worlds.
The Hens using the blast cone to get away as FlyQuest just trying to get any sort of a pick they can, just trying to slow this down any way they can. It's only 26 minutes on the clock, but it is a 12,000 gold lead for Gen.G's side as they continue pushing up here in the top lane. Chovy, between his own rapid fire and the buff from Canyon's Nidalee, is an absolute machine gun on this Tristana. The DPS is out of control. He's got the quick blades, he's got the armor penetration on the Mortal Reminder, and he's got the rest of Gen.G beside him. FlyQuest going in for their final Hail Mary. True Shot Barrage over the wall. Lehen's tanking up as Chovy gets back away. Inspired down to 300 HP, and Whippo does nothing. Shockwave on two won't matter. Inspired's about to bleed out. Chovy's dominating, and Keen won't stop. Double kill. Back over to Chovy. FlyQuest are gonna have to be ready for game 5, because Gen.G are ready to clean this up. Masu and Inspired trying with everything they've got to defend the last two Nexus turrets, but Gen.G is far too powerful. Lehens and Keen making the space. FlyQuest trying to hold on, but it's not gonna work. Ladies and gentlemen,
what am I supposed to think about a set?
You're supposed to think, hell yeah!
Drawing all this attention, it can create a lot more chaos and panic that Gen.G have to deal with.
And I mean, it's going to be, tough here for Whippo.
Canyon looking for the enemy top laner. Whippo using the showstopper to get back away. Remember, once a Gen.G team that's already almost 1,000 gold ahead just off of laning secures the first 3 grubs.
Yeah, I think Inspired was really hoping to just steal one grub and then get out of there, but he wasn't given the time to do it, and here they come again.
Whippo has no ulti this time. He does have flash, he does have the haymaker. Boom, there's a big punch. Whippo stays fine.
And looks like he was able to actually interrupt Canyons. All of these have to be picture perfect, or Gen.G is going to disengage, and then they're going to kite you out, and they're going to burst you down in the long run.
All right, here we go again. Lehens and Pays versus Whippo, using the haymaker early to try to nullify a lot of the upfront damage. Whippo exhausted now, flashing to try to get away. Canyon coming around from the side, expect the impale here from the Skarner. Whippo with beautiful footwork to get away from the 3v1.
I think that something worth noting is, as Zale has mentioned so many times this series, FlyQuest are willing to show restraint.
Exactly. I mean, it's absolutely incredible, for the journey of these players, and not just the North American players, the European players, and Quad, who retired after a disappointing performance in the LCK, where he couldn't even come close to touching the likes of Chovy. Now here in North America, has been really showing up.
Okay, FlyQuest are starting up the Drake, but they're doing it on top of a ward. Busio's going to clear out the control ward from Gen.G in a banana brush on approach, but it looks like Gen.G is not interested in contesting this Drake. FlyQuest going to take that one.
0 stacks on the Heartsteel so far from Canyon. He is, of course, only recently bought it, but Gen.G are conceding these objectives. The gold is swinging into FlyQuest.
In an earlier game of being about 13 minutes in when we were called for the longest first blood at Worlds.
Well, they want quad. It's going to be TPs coming in from both sides. Fate sealed, arrives, but he buffers back through the Impair with a soul unbound. Mom roars in. Quad is low, but he ain't dead yet. Keen's in trouble, but he turns it back around. First blood over to Jovi, and Gen.G get their moment.
An intense play that's not over yet.
Lahen's trying to jump in now and get a little bit more. Busio, oh, he's so very close to death. It was nearly a 2-0 for Gen.G.
A nice dive.
To secure the Rift Herald for FlyQuest.
I think that, Whippo needs to be careful. Doesn't have the ulti available.
Does get a nice stun there onto Canyon. Haymakers the rest of the wave just to get rid of it and make sure that Gen.G have to back up.
So as this objective is going down, we'll do a very quick stack check. 212. 18 and a half minutes into the game.
Back in the mid lane, though. Masu caught out of position. Pays and Lahen's getting the kill in the FlyQuest carry.
That was the missing flash. Lahen's forced his, his cleanse. He forced his cleanse down on that bot side around that skirmish. This time, uses the flash, flashes forward, catches him out. With no cleanse, there was no shot for Masu to get out of there.
And that's 2 quick towers secured and the Ziggs. These champions can stall for days. So finding good fights, securing objectives are going to be crucial to find an advantage in this game.
And I feel like this Smolder is just working out so well for Chovy so far. The game being so low octane, just giving him all that room to farm. You're talking about a player who is known so well for farming that if you have Chovy farm, it means you're farming way more than you ever should. He's already at that final stack mark before 20 minutes into the game. He's already on Trinity Force plus Muramana. This guy is set up to be the carry, but inspired with the ulti out of the wall, immediately into the showstopper coming out from Whippo. Busio jumps in, and Chovy is down. Quad goes with the Fate Sealed, looking for Canyon now as well, but he's gonna have to snap back here in just a moment. Gen.G's mid laner finally caught.
Farm as much as you like. FlyQuest will take the kill on him anyway. Looking to set up for this tower on bot for the next dragon as well. The rewards do grow, but Chovy's up in 20. We'll see if he wants to do anything on the map with this TP, because for now, it's Gen.G heading out towards top lane, looking to take some more gold as the response.
The biggest downside is that the kill went onto Busio. 500 gold into the Alistair, not optimal, but you'll still take the kill. Bot lane tower secured.
We have FlyQuest going for a Baron sneak. Gen.G are none the wiser.
No, they have to be suspicious, right? Pays.
No, but look, they shot off the Scryer's Bloom. Okay, finally, Pay's gonna throw the Mega Inferno Bomb in there.
Can they finish?
They've got the Baron down to about 5,000. FlyQuest going from an insane Hail Mary right now. King going into the pit as now the teleport's gonna come out from Chovy. Whippo is already dead. Keen's looking to take Inspired out of the picture now too, but Keen's gonna die. Inspired also drops. 2 for 1, favoring Gen.G. FlyQuest went for the crazy play, and Gen.G are ready to punish. A double kill for Chovy. Church is in session. Monster to flash over the wall and be in that spot. So I think it was Quad that hit it, trying to blast himself into a better spot to make a play. And instead, Masu goes back into the river, and now Gen.G with a 4,000 gold lead. It's 23 minutes into the game, and they're bulldozing their way to the FlyQuest Nexus. The bottom lane inhibitor turret falls. Bottom lane inhibitor next on the menu. Whippo trading back a tier 2 turret up in the top side.
Yeah, I mean, the wave clear for FlyQuest fight could be the end of Worlds for FlyQuest.
The game was so quiet, so calm for so long, but that's the problem with those Hail Mary plays. If you drop the ball, all of a sudden you are staring down the barrel of terror. Over the wall though, go Inspired and Quad. They find the pick onto Keen with 2 ultimates.
I mean, it's a good pick for FlyQuest. Sorry, Yone, my apologies.
Chovy though,
same family, you're good.
Has the QSS now, gets that much harder. He's approaching that rapid fire cannon as well, as Canyon will live this, but that is the Sterix being procced, and now FlyQuest getting corralled a little bit here.
Yep, Busio flashing over the wall, trying to make the play on Canyon, but he wasn't fast enough to get the headbutt the other way. Lahen's coming in trying to help him, but Chovy's ready. Mom's already been summoned. Canyon's low, but he ain't gonna be killed off here just yet. And already Quad bites the dust. FlyQuest again overextending, looking for their way into the back line, but a double kill over to Chovy. Whippo's gonna die next. Gen.G are slaughtering them. A triple for the mid laner. Chovy will not
But the play just didn't come to fruition, and Gen.G back in the driver's seat.
They just didn't have the damage to make it happen. There's no ult Inspired, and Masu wasn't even there. So They can't finish off these kills, and now Masu gonna get caught out. He's gonna go down as well.
Surely there is no way out here for a Callista. They'll give the kill over to Keen this time, and Gen.G, over the course of 5 minutes, have taken a dead even game and shoved it straight through the heart of FlyQuest.
A crushing situation for FlyQuest to find themselves in. Chovy's gonna TP in, Busio.
Chovy just not afraid of this Alistar whatsoever. No respect needed, no respect given. Gen.G looking to put pressure on the tier 3 turret on the top side and mid lane at the same time.
They did get flash off Chovy though, so he TPs in, he loses his flash, so that could be a small way in for FlyQuest. Let's see if they can find it.
FlyQuest are gonna have to find something big because Gen.G just keep the pressure on. Mid lane tier 3 is already out, and now the inhibitor could be next. But Gen.G respecting what might happen with the fiddlesticks, backing themselves away. They throw the equalizer in a spot where...
And when people want to talk about Chovy as one of the best, if not the best players in the world, you have to step up in these big moments. He has been able to do just that for Gen.G in this 5th game. Got a big lane advantage, has been pulling that through into the team fights. Busio, though, looking for a potential long flank here. FlyQuest needs to get creative, and they need to be able to find a way in.
Gen.G, they broke open the game with the Baron, with the punish on FlyQuest's sneak, and now with the Baron alive again, they are in total control.
Oh, no.
Inspired and Masu in a very compromised position. Busio coming around to try to help them. Inspired has Ghost on his Summoner Spellbook to try to join up. Busio now looking to reinforce the lines as well, but it looks like it's going to be so hard for Whipple to make his way into the fight as they have to try to save Busio now. Masu barely hanging on. Inspired back over the wall here with a Crow Storm, but it ain't going to be enough just yet. Masu can't even find any damage. Pei stays alive. Redemption for the heal. Chovy's dominating, and Masu burns. Keen gets the kill, and Bwipo will just try to get away from Lehens and Pays. A double kill for Keen. FlyQuest is aced.
All 5 members of FlyQuest drop, and Gen.G will crush the hopes of North America.
Gen.G was pushed to the limit. They were pushed to the edge, but they were built for these situations. They were built for victory. They were built to win, and they will do just that. Whether it's 3 games, whether it's 5, it does not matter. Gen.G has a date with destiny and the semifinals.
These were the best highlights from today's Worlds 2024 matchup. Click that subscribe button faster than Ramus can say, okay. See you on the next one.